It's Rut and River.
Yes.
Correct.
R-U-T.
I rest my beard hair on it.
And then you know you're there.
Like a nice, gentle little pillow for my beard.
Right.
And then I'm all up in it.
Oh.
I'm like Kobe beef for sharks.
Can I ask you, what made you guys call me up about, well, this?
That's what tickles our fancy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thought the Rocky Mountains would be rockier.
John Denver is not accurate.
A guy like you, who has absolutely no clue, and I can hear it in your voice, that, I mean, you're a blank canvas. I mean, I can just start with you like from scratch.
You're going to tell me, a grown man, you're telling me what lure to use and how to fish?
You guys didn't snap your whopper plopper off either, though. Sorry, I blew up over that.
And we're back. This is the Rut and River Pursuit podcast, and you're around the Sonic Campfire. Ooh, it's hot tonight. Oh.
Nice.
Nice.
It's reality outdoor radio, connecting you with the people, skills, and products you can trust.
Boom.
Who do we have around the table tonight?
I'm Steve.
I'm Will.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
And this is Dave. Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Tony Maja Products, redefining the art of trolling bunker spoons since 1968. Check them out at TonyMajaProducts.com, where you can find all the rods, line, terminal tackle you'll need to start trolling today and get your shot at joining the 50-pound club, fishing the famous Maja bunker spoons and the Magic Mojos. Follow them on Facebook or Instagram by searching Tony Maja Products.
Nice.
I need in that 50-pound club.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I am the
just about
50-pound
it.
club. Oh, wait, we're not
Oh, you
weighing
are the
ourselves
50.
in? Oh, whoops.
Bud, you're the 250-pound club.
Easy there. It's a 230.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He's a medium, heavy, extra sensitive.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
You're T&Ed extra sensitive up tonight, bud.
Sorry.
So speaking of 50-pound plus club and Tony Maja bunker spoons.
Do we have a topic? Do we have someone
Oh,
here?
What are we doing
have-
around the
what's going
Sonic
on?
We have an
bud?
awesome topic. We are in the midst of March Striper Madness.
Oh, I'm loving it.
And we're going to tee it off with the man himself, Tony Maja Jr.
What?
Are you there, Tony?
I am here.
Oh,
Hey, man. What's happening?
Tony.
What's up, guys?
What a treat, man. I'll tell you, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
So,
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
for our listeners, you've heard about this before. It was on the Kid Cochise episode. It was on some other episodes. Anytime we talk about striper fishing, Maja spoons are spoken.
The Pocono outdoor guy talks about
They talk about them too.
Non-stop. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's our pleasure to have you on, bud. How's it going?
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So what is this spoon that we speak of to our listeners?
All right. Well, it started off a long time ago with my father. I mean, well before I was born, back in the 60s. Not well before, but long enough.
Long enough.
Long enough. He always had his own spoons. He made his own spoons. And if anybody's ever seen my seminars and stuff, I show them how he actually made them. He made them with stop signs, whatever metal he could find.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yep. It was, he was a cop, so he got away with taking stop signs down.
Breaking the law.
But, and he did a lot of tweaking, bending it. He did a lot of research. And I mean, 68's a long time away. So he, trial and error, a lot of trial and error. But, we ended up changing our spoons around so many times, but we changed it to imitate a wounded bunker. There's thousands of bunker spoons out there, but we're the only one that imitates a wounded bunker. And when I say wounded bunker, it's a very short sweep, a 2 to 4 foot sweep when it's going side to side. And let me tell you something: those big girls love them. Those big fat cows love them.
Yeah. Yeah. Tony, you told a story one time about what gave your dad the idea for that action of the spoon.
Yeah. Okay. You want to? Well, I was actually fishing with him one day, and we're watching a bunker school.
Yeah.
And a big bluefish came up, and if you ever watch a big school bunker, and it would really stink in life to be a bunker. Everybody wants to eat it. That's probably the worst thing you could ever be in life is a bunker. But bluefish came up and whacked it. So this thing was injured, had a big cut on its tail. and it was erratic. It was very erratic. And what came up and ate it after it was hurt was a big bass. Huh. So, the light bulbs went off, and we're like, wait, they don't like the lively bunkers as much because they're lazy. The big bass are lazy. They're slow and lazy, but they will attack these bunker spoons very, very heavily.
So they're thinning out the herd by taking out the weak ones, making the herd stronger in general.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. I mean, listen, they're anybody that's like, I have videos on my website and stuff of the bass underwater attacking spoons and mojos. It's pretty cool, but they're fast. Listen, striped bass are strong, fast fish, but they like to sit back. They'll sit behind a rock and attack something that's either not doesn't see it coming, or if it's injured. They like the easy food.
That's just the nature of the predator. That's the nature of the predator. I like it.
Yep.
Somebody's gonna get the nickname Bunker here real soon.
I had it in high school. Now I know why. It makes sense now. People used to pick on me, trip me going down the hallway.
Yeah. Hey,
it was my 3 to 4 foot sweep in my hips when I walked. That's what it was.
Nobody wants to be a bunker.
I waddle 2 to 4 feet.
And it was only the big girls that ever talked to me. So it's all making sense.
That's great.
So Tony, what body of water was this really tested and developed on?
I mean, up and down New Jersey coastline, New York, Connecticut. It's been, there's a couple lakes out west. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Texacoma Lake.
Yeah.
It's a big lake. I think it's in Arkansas. I don't even know where. Something like that. Arkansas, maybe. Big lake out there, and they use them on the lake. They use the spoons on the lake. They've been tested a lot of places, but I'd like to take them to different places because I know they'll work anywhere.
So out there in Arkansas, you're saying they're using those for, freshwater stripers?
Freshwater striped bass.
Nice.
I don't believe they're the big freshwater. I think they're the smaller hybrid types.
Sure.
8 to 10 pounds. Nothing that big. But I mean, listen, they work good.
So
the whole idea is to match the hatch. So if they're eating a smaller fish, we have the number ones all the way to the number 4s, which are the bigger adult bunker or something that's that size.
Awesome. So it's springtime fishing when these stripers are migrating. You're kind of wherever the hot spot is on the East Coast. What's a typical setup look like for that situation?
Well, it's if you're ever, hopefully you guys get out with us this year in the spring.
Don't tempt us with a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it could be any time. It could be late April all the way to June at some point. We wait and we wait and we wait. And once they come, it's game on. It's game on. And when it's game on, good luck being out there because it's a disaster with all the boats.
A lot of short drifting.
It is chaos. There's, and everybody trolls all of our stuff. So, usually it's 4 to 6 rods per boat.
Yeah.
We have the outrodders. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. That's our patent. We have a patent on an outrodder.
Mm-hmm. So that keeps the rod kind of more parallel to the water. Yep.
And basically they always had those outrodders, but they were always fixed. You couldn't, you have to reach out and pull the rod out by leaning over the side of the boat. And try doing that with a 40-pound fish. It's not easy.
Yeah, no way.
I'd imagine not.
I wonder how many rods were lost that way.
I lost a couple myself. But I don't want to say because my father wanted to kill me. But my father, all he did is put a hinge on it where it just snaps into the boat and you pull the rod out right. It's something so simple. I'm sure 1,000 people thought of it, but he's the only person that actually did something about it.
Yeah.
So you have a rod that's basically parallel to the water. You get bit and you pull the pin, rotate the outrodder up 90 degrees, and then you can pull it out a lot easier than if it was.
Oh yeah. It's basically the boat, the rod's in the boat by that time. It's,
Yeah.
But I mean, with trolling bunker spoons, you want to be parallel to the water. You don't want to have them standing straight up and down because you want to get the maximum depth of the spoon.
Okay, that was going to be one of my questions: is how deep are we talking running these spoons?
Well, depending on where you're fishing, there's all different ways to fish them. We do downriggers, which I want to do on the the lakes like with you guys.
Yeah,
I'd love to do lakes out there. But we fish 60 to 70 feet of water sometimes. Ooh. So our spoons are very, very thick stainless steel. They're heavy.
Yeah.
So our number 4 spoon's over a pound. I guess a pound and a couple ounces.
Wow.
So we get down with wire line. We fish wire line, which, is not everybody's. They don't like that as much. It's not as fun as braid or mono.
And that wire line is helping you with getting those depths, right? That's
correct.
The wire line is your sinker, essentially.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because people that don't know the mono floats.
Right.
Mono floats. Braid cuts through the water, so it doesn't have any float or sink rate. And we use Monel, MONEL, and that's got probably the best sink rate out of all of the wire lines.
Okay.
So for every 10 feet you're dropping our number 4 spoon down with the wire line, you get about a foot and a half to a foot and a quarter to a foot and a half of depth. So 300 feet of wire would be about 35 to 40 feet you'd be down.
Okay.
But that's only with that wire line. You can also add weight to it as well to get it down more. But listen, everybody loves to get down really close to the bottom. They can keep doing that because they keep losing spoons. They have to buy more. That's fine. I tell people in my seminars, I'm like, listen, those fish they're close to the bottom, but they attack up just like great whites do.
Right.
They attack from below. And you know what? You only need to be 10 to 15 feet off the bottom is perfect.
Okay.
That's where you want to be. So, 55, 60 feet of water, you're down 40 feet. That's perfect.
Yeah, those spoons are moving enough water around, so they're hearing it. The vibrations happening. That's going to pull them up.
Yeah, and you know what? With bunker spoons as opposed to Mojos, bunker spoons, they're on full attack mode. They don't go investigate it. It's just instinct is to just bite it for them.
Nice.
But Mojos, they'll come behind it because all the Mojos are just the tail. It's just a shad with the tail moving. So they see that tail moving, they'll come up behind and they'll investigate it. I'll send you guys some video footage that I have from underwater. It's pretty cool. A lot of big bass following the Mojos and the spoons.
I think I've seen some of that footage, actually. Yeah. That's some impressive
the
footage.
The spoons will make you very dizzy, though. They're so erratic, you can't watch it for more than a minute. You'll feel like you're going to collapse. So.
We'll be able to, we'll put that up on our Instagram so our listeners can see that.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty cool.
So you're pretty much, you're running wire line with a spoon to get your depth. I imagine you're using a pretty heavy, stout rod to run that. What kind of weight?
We make it. You know what? That's a good question because we make our rods now with the wire line and the bunker spoons. You need something with a very soft tip.
Okay.
On the rod because the bunker spoon, if anything's pulling on it, it's restricted because it's a heavy rod. You're not going to get the correct action out of it.
Okay.
So we make our own rod. It's a custom rod that we make, and it's very, very popular out here. On the lakes, it probably won't because guys like downriggers. So when you have a downrigger, that defeats the whole purpose of having a soft tip on the rod. But that's another thing I could tell you about that my father invented something which was pretty cool. But we make our own rod. It's an 8-foot rod. It's a custom bunker spoon rod, and it's deadly, absolutely deadly. And it's very popular in New Jersey and New York. Very, very popular. We sell a lot of them. So
to finish out the whole setup, what kind of reel are you running on that?
I like Canyon reels. They're a New Jersey guy that we use. They make very good reels. Penn makes good reels. We used to actually have a Canyon reel that was a Tony Maja custom reel that they used to make for us, but
no kidding.
They're too expensive, those things. Everything's too expensive these days.
Now because you're able to talk about like the weight of the spoon and the line that you're running and the depth that you get at certain distances, is like a line counter important? Do you run line counters on your reels?
It's another great question. We do. I use right now I'm using a Dakota 800. and it's got the line counter, and it also has the line winder.
Oh, nice.
So all of that is important because when you're fishing the wire line's thick. So if you don't reel it in correctly, it's going to get stuck the line.
Okay.
It's going to, just like the backing touches the top of the reel and you can't reel in anymore.
Okay.
And, when we fish, if I have people that aren't really big fishermen, I try to have that. It's probably the easiest reel to have. They're not that expensive, I don't think either. A couple $100. I mean, it's expensive, but there's reels out there, $500-600 easy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's an expensive sport, fishing. I'll tell you that.
It definitely is.
Don't tell my wife that.
So
I think she's got to know that already.
Most of that stuff's donated.
So you're pretty much one-stop shop for setup. From the bait, you can get the line through. You guys, the rod, the reel. You guys have a package. They'll tell you'll put everybody in the right direction because everything's already figured out. No guesswork. Like, look at your setup and run with it.
That's exactly right. And it's funny because, my father started with the outrigger. That was our first, the bunker spoons and the outrigger. And people are asking us, what rod would you use? What reel would you use? What line would you use? And we're pointing them all these different directions. I look at them like that. We got to make our own setup. And we did it. It took us a little while, but we got there.
There you go.
But it's the whole entire setup between the Mojos and the spoons is so popular now. That's like, it's probably 75% of the fishing out here.
So,
when, it used to be a lot of bait, but now it's not as much.
Tony, the Mojos, that's kind of what I think what I'm familiar with. Some folks call them tandems down here, like tandem parachute rigs or something like that, where you have one heavier jig and one lighter jig that are, the blah, blah, blah. I'm having a hard time spitting this out.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. You have a heavy jig and a light jig, and the line is different lengths in between the two so they can run at different depths. But how's your setup change when you're running a Mojo compared to when you're running a spoon?
All right. It's actually a huge difference.
Is it?
It's a big, big difference because, the Mojos, it's a lead head. You said it perfect because we used to call them when I was young was parachute jigs.
Yeah. And
we used to jig them off the bottom. That's what I grew up doing in the Raritan Bay when I lived in Staten Island and Brooklyn. And, that was what we called them. They were just reverse hairs on a bucktail. It just, it looked different and they work great. But now they've been popular down south for a long time. Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, they've been, 40 years down there. And they started to make their way up probably 5 years ago, here. It took us a while to get their stuff. Usually it's the other way around, but they're usually after us. But not this. They had this first. I'll tell you that. But now the spoons are starting to move down there. So the spoons started up here, and now they're starting to move down towards that area. So we're swapping information from them. So
sure.
But the Mojos, they're so much easier to fish than spoons. Spoons, definitely a bigger fish. I don't think they get more fish. They probably get similar the amount, but the Mojos are a much easier fish. You're fishing with braid. You're not fishing with wire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Say you're fishing with just one Mojo, or not the tandem, just one Mojo. You know where that Mojo is, and it's not going to be bouncing around. So you could fish multiple lines out because the spoons. The reason why you put them in an outrigger and you have them parallel to the waters because of depth. And also, you want to keep them away from each other because if they get tangled up, you can throw that whole setup out, And the wire line is not cheap.
Yeah, I guess that
feet is probably $70, just for 300 feet. So
once you tangle up that wire line, it's not something that's reusable. It's done. Ooh, ouch.
It's finito. It's probably you wouldn't even want to even try to get it out. So you just take the spoons up, crumble it up, and throw it in the garbage.
Steve, you couldn't do that.
Yeah. Listen, I've backlashed those reels.
Really?
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's not easy.
Yeah. So, Tony, I have a setup that I use in the Chesapeake for trolling umbrella rigs, and it sounds like a Mojo would just fit in right perfect there in place of an umbrella
Mojo in the
rig.
Chesapeake. They do. I know guys that do spoons too in the Chesapeake, and they they murder fish out there. The Mojos especially.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I think they have a lot of sand eels, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of different bait. You want to match whatever bait's out there. That's basically what you want to do. That's what they're feeding on, so that's what they're going to attack most of the time.
So, changing gears here.
Yeah.
It sounds like you almost didn't. You were entrenched from a little kid to be in the outdoors.
Boy, I'll say.
I was gonna ask him a little bit about his background. I mean, obviously he's from Georgia.
Yeah.
You have that southern draw. It's so smooth.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like eating apple pie right now.
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
But
That's great.
so what drew you to the outdoors as a kid, other than your dad being fully entrenched in the outdoors?
I mean, listen, there was always, I mean, as a kid, I remember just, I just had to be by the ocean. I love the outdoors. I love the woods. I like to hunt occasionally, but the ocean, something about the ocean that just calmed me down. If I had a virus and I was sick, I would go on a boat and I would feel better. I would be the opposite of most people. People get sick on a boat. I feel better on a boat.
Yeah, I get sick on a boat.
Do you?
Sometimes. I need
terrible.
I get the
medic. Turn around if you get sick.
No. It's all good. I gotta
through it.
I gotta medicate. That's all I need to do.
Yeah, I hear you.
But every once in a while.
Did you hear that though? He's not turning around if you get sick.
No, I get it. And
We had a sea duck captain that turned around for him, maybe.
I mean, my father had his own brother on his hands and knees throwing up for 4 hours. And it's a doggy dog world when you fish like this.
It's different up there in Staten Island.
I'm from South Carolina. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
See, remember?
But I loved the outdoors. I was drawn to it as a little kid. And my father he wouldn't leave the house to go fishing if it wasn't with me ever.
That's awesome.
My mother would be, I would be so upset. Probably 6 years old, I was trolling bunker spoons, 6, 7 years old.
That's saying something, because that's, those fish are pretty big for 6, 7 years old to be hauling them in.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the thing is, when I was young, the striped bass were almost on a very big decline.
Okay. Yeah.
And there was a moratorium then back in the 80s. I believe it was the 80s.
Yeah.
And, we went through 5 summers of not catching a striped bass.
Wow.
Not seeing a striped bass for at least 5 years.
Wow.
They were pretty much on the extinct, in our area. So it was scary. It was very scary. But they came back, and they came back strong. They really did. So hopefully it stays that way. They talk about a decline in the striped bass population.
Yeah.
I don't know how they get that 100%, but it's got to be pretty cool how they get that decline. I don't know how the hell they. A lot of ocean to find, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I couldn't sit there and say, okay, there's 2 million striped bass left in the world. Well, God bless them if they could do that.
They're like weathermen.
Could be.
So
That's fun.
how far back can you remember your dad taking you fishing?
Oof. I'd say about 6, 7 years old. I remember going fishing. I do. I remember he used to throw the cast net on the bunker when we were live bait fishing. I remember at 7 years old, he threw the cast net, and he let me throw the cast net, and I forgot to put it on my wrist. And he started floating away, and he dove in the water. With a very strong current, and I had to, he jumped in the water, and I had to try to figure out how to drive the boat to him. I was 7 years old.
Oh, jeez.
That was in the Raritan Bay, which is very fast current too. So.
Oh, geez.
We had
I was 7 years old. That was a long time ago.
I had a similar situation with my son. Something like that had happened. I threw him in the water, so I didn't think he could handle the boat. So I tossed him in, and then I drove the boat up to get him.
Go grab that. I'm surprised you didn't throw me in the water.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny though.
So you would bait fish then back then?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You would bait fish back then. It wasn't always trolling lures.
No. I mean, I'll be honest with you, the bait fishing was much bigger, much bigger.
Really?
Bait fishing, I mean, it was spring bait fish all the way through the summer, and then as soon as fall came, that was bunker spoon time. That was what it was. Like, it used to be spring bait fish. We would anchor up on wrecks or pieces and just chunk bunker all day long, or drift live bunker.
Yeah.
And we didn't catch the fish they catch now. I mean, my father caught a 54-pounder, back in the late 80s, I believe it was.
Wow.
And that was when they just can't start to come back. So that was a big fish.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, that was almost unheard of.
Yeah.
There was no 50-pounders back then. Now, over the last year, they had, I think, 19 on our bunker spoons, 19 50-plus pounders on our bunker spoons.
Jeez.
It's a much different world now.
What was the biggest caught on a bunker spoon last year?
58 pounds. 58 pounds, yeah.
Do you think a 60 is in the cards for
oh yeah
2019?
Well, we did, the biggest on our spoon is 62, almost 63 pounds. It's a monster. But I mean, listen, there's bigger ones out there.
I love it.
They've recorded fish over 90 pounds. But that's not on they caught them in nets and stuff. So, but those fish are out there.
Right.
What do you think has changed over the last 10 or 20 years? That you were saying that the beginning of the season was more bait fishing, and then towards the end, it turned into artificial. What do you think's changed to cause it? Now, people are trolling with bunker spoons from opening day till the season closes.
Right. No, you're 100% right. I had to say there's a lot less. The migration is a lot different. When they're migrating north and south, you used to have a lot of fish that stayed in the Raritan Bay for a good portion of time when I was young.
Okay.
And I think that was because of a lot of bait fish there, so it kept them there. I just think it works so well that people didn't know it.
So it's just popularity. Then,
I think the spoons have gotten better.
Yeah.
When we first moved to
Less
New
stop
Jersey,
signs.
Staten Island, we moved to Staten Island, from Staten Island to New Jersey. Nobody trolled bunker spoons. Nobody even knew what it was.
Wow.
Nobody. And they'd see us pulling in 40-pounders, 35-pounders. They they put on umbrella rigs to catch a fish, but 10-pounders, 8 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
What are these guys doing?
I think Will hit on something, though. Some of it is the fact that if there's no stop signs in the neighborhood, everybody's getting to the boat launch quicker.
Yeah.
So they're throwing more spoons.
There's a lot of cameras on the streets doing that.
Yeah, there are.
It's pretty funny.
One thing we didn't touch on is how fast are you trolling these spoons?
Another great question.
Everybody asks that.
That's the biggest question I get.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, that's the biggest question, because every spoon works different. Ours works better at a slow speed because it's a wounded bunker. So if I was to give a number, 2 to 4 knots, but I'd be lying because it all depends on current. Boats. Every boat's different.
When you drop that spoon in, are you kind of looking to make sure it has that back and forth action that you want, and that's the speed
No, you're watching the tip of the rod.
You're watching the tip of the rod for the
tip
action.
of the rod. Yep. In seminars that I do, I have a video of the tip of the rod. I'm like, don't ask me how fast to go. I said, just watch the tip of the rod. And if you want to get crazy, you can count the pulsations per minute. They're like 86 pulses per minute.
Wow.
You get really crazy. I mean, I don't sit there every minute and count 86 beats of the rod, but
you didn't have to tell us that, but you had us blown away.
Stevie would figure that out.
Yeah, my father.
And then Deke would chart it.
It's a science. It's a science.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, it sure is.
But it's fun. It's a fun science.
So if you're mimicking a wounded bait fish, I would imagine there's probably some other things you could use to catch other than striped bass with this spoon, right?
Oof, yeah. This year, a lot of, especially a bunker. And like I said, everything wants to eat a bunker.
Yeah.
This year, they caught a few different sharks. Mako, a pup great white.
What?
Yeah, pretty cool.
Wow.
They caught multiple thresher sharks. which they actually come in with their tail and they whack the spoon with their tail.
So you hook them with the tail?
Catch them backwards.
Yeah, they hook them in the tail. They hook them all. We caught, I think over the past 3 years, they caught 15 of them on our spoons, up to like 300 pounds, 325 pounds.
Wow.
But, I think out of the 15 or whatever, however many it was, one was hooked in the mouth, the rest were hooked in the tail. So,
that's got to be like dragging a school bus in backwards.
No, it's not easy.
Volkswagen Fastback.
And backwards is, that's the only thing is you're drowning them.
Yeah.
You can't really release them when you reel them in. If you fight them for a long time because you're pulling them by the tail, it definitely isn't good for the fish to release them, but they're good to eat, threshers, so.
That's what they say.
Yeah, I mean, I've had it a couple times. I think it's even better than Mako. But
really?
Yeah, it's very, very good.
What about offshore for like maybe tuna or something like that?
That's another great one. A lot of times in the fall, the bluefin, the smaller bluefin are mixed in with the bass on the bunker schools. But I have guys that do downriggers with the smaller spoons to, offshore for big eye tuna, bluefin, yellowfin. Sky's the limit with these things. They really are.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It's pretty cool. You could do a lot with them. I had a guy that just came back from Florida. They caught kingfish and wahoo on the spoons and the mojos.
No way.
I'm gonna have to get out there and do that now.
So everything from wahoo, from wahoo to striped bass,
big guys,
and tuna and shark in
threshers.
between. Yeah.
I mean, we had some crazy. You ever? What's the birds? Not gannets. Yeah, gannets. I think they are. Gannets dive. They dive really deep. Somebody caught a gannet 30 feet down.
Oh,
jeez! It sort of bumped a spoon from the sky, dove in the water.
No way.
And that's the coolest catch I think out of everything.
Yeah.
That's a 30-foot dive for a bird.
Yeah.
To catch that spoon.
That's
to
impressive.
see it. Wow.
It's pretty amazing. But and it gets a lot of crazy stuff. Fluke, I mean, everything. But you're not aiming for those fish, but it's pretty cool when you get. Oh, another big thing was the drums.
Yeah.
Like
They caught a lot of big drums on
like
them too.
black drum or red drum?
I think black. What's the ones down in the red ones are down in South Carolina in that area, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the red drum.
These are the black drums, I believe.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's real cool.
And they get pretty big. Yeah.
They do.
Sturgeon. Somebody caught a sturgeon last year. Too.
Jeez. It's like
That's weird.
possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
They are, and then
Stevie might be able to catch a muskie on one.
Oh,
That would work perfect for a muskie. I'm telling you. I know they would.
we need to make it happen.
Yeah, Stevie catches.
Now the wheels are turning.
Yeah, he catches.
When can I fish for you guys? When do you guys start fishing?
Say when.
I was fishing about 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Were you really?
We don't
He didn't
stop.
catch anything. We
No.
was fishing 2 hours ago.
I didn't catch anything at all.
That's
But
good enough for me. I don't need to
somebody
catch.
told me there was walleyes in the area. I tried, but it didn't work
You
out.
gotta try to know.
Yeah.
Walleyes are great. That's good food. Very good fish to eat.
So, do you ever have any time to just go out and just fish for fun, or are you constantly kind of experimenting and testing products? You ever just hang out on the water?
When I'm hanging out on the water is when I'm testing and experimenting. I do it all and I enjoy it. I love it. My father. I still go to my father for everything. I pass through ideas from him. He still amazes me every day. He's the spoon father. He really is.
Yeah,
Right. He definitely is.
What's he up to nowadays, Tony?
He's gonna be fishing a lot more this year because I'm taking a lot of the pressure off him this year. So
Good for him.
he'll be out there a lot fishing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, it's funny you say he's going to be out there a lot fishing because all I hear is you guys just fishing. So, good on him. That's to be doing more fishing yet.
Well, it sounds like if he's going to be doing more fishing, he's going to come up with more ideas, which is going to keep you even busier.
Yeah, you know what? Like for the past 5-6 years, he's been so busy. He hasn't fished a lot. He hasn't.
Oh, well,
He's just busy with doing orders all day long. It's not a big business where we have 50 coworkers.
Yeah.
it's a family business. It's a family-run business. We have just our family in it, but it's unless my kids could start helping, that'll be great, so I could go fishing. But
when you figure that out, let me know.
Now you're starting to think like your dad.
Exactly, you're right. It's funny.
So what keeps you busy this time of year when you can't necessarily be out on the water? I think I saw some pictures of you doing the show circuit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do a lot of shows. My father wasn't really, he was a show guy when he first started the business. So I've been picking up the slack for a couple of years. I did 5 shows in the past six weekends. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
Hey, you do some seminars too, right?
Yeah, I do a lot of seminars. I have a couple this weekend. That's the thing. Like people say, why do you give seminars? Bunker spoon trolling, and Mojo's not so much, but bunker spoon trolling could be it's very tough, and people get turned off if they don't catch fish after 2 times going out.
Yeah.
I try to teach them, give them just a breakdown of what to do and how to start. Because if people don't, I mean, there's a lot of ways you could go online and watch YouTube videos. A lot of people don't do that. I mean, a lot of people still don't do that. And, if I don't teach them, they're going to get turned off. I don't want them to get turned off because once they get it, it's unbelievable. Once they get it and they can figure it out, not a lot of people have the patience that we used to years ago. They see these things online, they want to catch fish right away.
Yeah.
Everybody's spoiled in these days.
Instant gratification. It's the downfall of the sportsman.
Kids.
That's why God made fishing markets. Go buy a fish.
Yeah, they whip them at you in Seattle.
Any other shows you're going to be at in late March?
Yes, we have the next show. I mean, right now I'm not doing it, but I have people working it for us. Right now is the Atlantic City Boat Show. That's a pretty big one. But the biggest one that I like is the Edison, New Jersey Saltwater Fishing Show. And that's in March 15th to the 17th.
Okay.
And I'll be there with Kid Coaches will be there with me. Mark will be there. A few other.
We love Captain Mark.
Yeah, he's great. What a good guy.
Definitely.
Good fisherman, too. Very good fisherman.
He's all right.
He's a good fisherman, but he takes a lot of I don't know. I don't even know how to say it, but he doesn't act like a know-it-all at all.
No,
right.
Not at all.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, he asks me every day, what should I do? What should I do? I'm like, you're asking me. Don't ask me. I said, you know more than I do. But, yeah.
His heart is bigger than his desire to fish. Like I think that the world of that guy. He does a lot for charity he was really awesome to have on the show. So.
He is, yeah. He definitely is. He's a good guy. Nothing but good things to say about that guy. And another couple good guys is George and Josh from Pennsylvania Outdoors.
Oh, there are. George likes to call us it's the Turnpike Brotherhood. Yeah. Yeah. We love George and Josh.
They're good people, man, and he's got a nice show too. Good guys, very good guys.
So Tony, we're kind of getting close to the end of the show here, but if I'm a new striper fisherman and I'm going to fish the East Coast, give me some kind of pointers as to how I should get started.
Come and see me.
Come and see you.
Holla at your boy.
I mean, listen, there's so many ways to do it. You have to get set up with the right gear.
Which you have, right?
We have it all, and we actually coming out with a new Mojo Rod. So there's gonna be a rod for every type of fishing we do.
Could you repeat?
Line, everything.
Tony, could you repeat that last part?
You just cut out just a little bit. You're coming out with a new rod or what?
New rod, a Mojo Rod. Yes.
So you got a new Mojo Rod coming out. What's different about that?
Okay, so the Mojo Rod is going to be a little stiffer. You don't need that action on the tip because the bunker spoon rod you need that pulse for the bunker spoon moving. The tip from the Mojo Rod, you don't need that pulsation. So it's going to be more strength. It's going to be more durable rod basically.
So do you manufacture the rods?
Yes.
You
Yes, we
do. Wow. So you make everything then.
Yep.
And it's a family-run business. You must have a big family, bud.
I do. Yeah, we do.
That's great.
My father had, I think it was like, I don't know, 17 aunts and uncles.
Wow.
So my grandmother had like 13 and 14 brothers and sisters, so the family stemmed out from there. It's pretty big.
That's incredible.
They're all named Tony.
Some of them are Anthony.
Yeah.
Some of them are Anthony.
Yeah, Tony.
Like me and my son are Anthony. My father's Anthony. We're all Anthony.
Dom.
Family reunions, you say Anthony, 14 people.
Hey, I love it. That's fishing, Tony.
Yep. But the Mojo Rods they're going to be out in 2 weeks. They're going to be a very hot item this year. Very hot item.
Very cool.
And they'll be available on the website then, I take it.
Yep. They'll have it on the website, and they'll be in. I'm not sure about the Bass Pro Shops. I'm not sure if they're going to be carrying because they carry all spoons and stuff. But
yeah.
I mean, we're everywhere. We are everywhere right now. Thank God.
That's awesome. So we have 5 questions that we like to end every episode with. We call it what do we call this, guys? Our lightning round, right? Or
the Fast Five.
We call this a Fast Five. There's no incorrect answers, so just kind of shout out the first thing that comes to mind. And Dave's going to kick this off.
So, what's one thing you can't live without in the outdoors?
My bunker spoons.
Nice.
That's a very good answer.
Case closed.
All right, number 2 then. What are you most proud of?
My father.
Nice.
That's
a good answer.
That is a good answer.
Solid.
That's the truth, too. Very, very
awesome.
true.
One thing that you do daily to prepare for your outdoor lifestyle, and this is probably funny for because we just had a whole episode of it.
Yeah, a lot of coffee. I mean, that's pretty much my whole life. Fishing is an early thing in the morning, so you got to have a lot of coffee, I guess.
Perfect. All right, Tony, what is on your bucket list? So, bucket list: fishing trip, hunting trip. You could go anywhere, do anything. Money and time's no object for this trip.
Costa Rica, fishing mojos and bunker spoons, seeing what I could catch out there.
Oh man,
I would really love to try that. In fact, I might do that this year. So
I hope you do.
Cross it off the bucket list.
That'd be awesome. Last one.
Yep.
What makes you happy?
What makes Tony Maja Jr. happy?
Having a lot of people to talk to and spreading the information about fishing. And kids, especially to kids, to make sure that the fishing legend just keeps going on and on.
Very cool.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, I don't think enough kids do it in this day and age, but no more video games. Jump outside and get out the outdoors.
Yeah.
Watch that depth finder if you want a video screen.
They're getting bigger all the time.
They are.
But Tony, it's funny because you talked about people ask you why you do seminars. That's almost the same answer, right? It's like sharing the knowledge, getting people interested in the sport, the outdoors in general, and learning how to use your product the right way to make their day better.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's true. I mean, listen, before we started making our own stuff, we didn't tell anybody, but we did. It's a very secretive thing. We used to win a lot of tournaments, so we don't want to tell people, but now it's, it's the absolute opposite. We're trying to make a business out of it, but we also want other people to enjoy it, so.
Well, you're sharing that knowledge, and you're still winning tournaments, so it works out.
Yeah. If I'm not, some people, they're winning on our stuff. That's all I care about. So.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
That's the main thing. So
that's cool.
I'm blown away with all the striper information tonight, and it's we need to get out in the water.
Yeah. We need to hang out with Tony.
You're chomping at the bit. I see your legs shaking over there.
My legs shaking.
Yeah, it's like
my mind's going.
It's like he shot a big nanny or something. He's all jacked up.
Got that sewing machine leg going.
I'm ready. Whenever you guys are ready, I'm ready.
I can't
It's just right
imagine.
there somewhere right now. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Josh just caught one through the ice.
he caught one a week ago, right?
Yeah. Something like, yeah, I saw the video of it. That's nuts.
That's not fair.
No, it isn't. I agree with you. But
That kid is dipped in something.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Oh, I thought it was just another tiger muskrat.
He catches a fish every time I watch him.
yes, he does.
Oh, what's this? Oh, what
That's
could
something I
this
wanted to
be?
do. I wanted to ice fish with them up there. I wanted to try that, but hopefully it gets cold again before it gets warm. But if not, we'll figure out some other way.
I'll tell you what, one of the toughest things I've ever done is trolling when I'm ice fishing.
It's probably not that easy.
It's terrible.
You just couldn't get the
You have to
action.
have a lot of area cut out of the ice.
I don't have the right rod for that one.
I'll tell you what, a lot of coffee on that day.
You got to be a rod on fire.
Man, bless your heart.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. This was great. This was great.
been awesome.
I learned
Thank you,
a ton. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tony, for our listeners, where can they find you?
They could find us either at www.tonymajaproducts.com and on the website it's got all the contact information. But we're pretty much up and down the East Coast, all tackle shops, Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, Dick's Sporting Goods. Pretty much, any way you turn around, we're there.
Nice.
We are there, and we're out in Jersey. If anybody ever has any questions, I'm on Instagram and Facebook. They could just reach out to me. I answer every question. So
Yeah, that's Tony Maja Custom Products on Instagram. That was the one place I was rolling through here recently.
You gotta thumb through that.
Oh, yeah.
because it's like
I got to get rid of the custom out there.
it's big.
It makes people very confused.
Well, it was awesome having you on. We can't wait to stay in touch with you. I think you have 7 new best friends after tonight.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And
That's great.
I'm speechless.
Very cool.
And that's a rarity.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deke.
Tony, thank you so much for your time, bud. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Our pleasure.
Take care.
So, Deaky,
Yeah, bud.
when we're not trolling bunker spoons
Yeah.
15 feet off the bottom.
or swinging my hips 3 foot left and right like a
Attracted big girls.
talking to the big girls like a mojo. Where can they find us?
You can find us at rutandriverpursuit.com. You can also find us on all of the podcast apps. Just search Rut and River Pursuit Podcast on all those apps. Check us out on YouTube at Rut and River Pursuit Podcast. I'm pretty sure we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Again, search Rut and River Pursuit Podcast.
Very cool.
Guys, it's been an awesome week.
Striper madness
Has kicked off.
It.
kicked off.
I'll tell you what, it is madness.
Yeah.
I have, other than a couple little schoolies, I think we call them.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a striper guy, but I am now. I'm into it.
You want to get one of those big girls.
Y'all
50
done
pounds.
it. I'm after some big girls.
50 pounds.
I want to be in the club.
50 pounds.
Stevie, I'm going to be in the club.
I can't
Good luck.
imagine
Thanks.
a 50-pound striper. It just
How
blows
big
my
was
mind.
Bradley's last year?
Not 50 pounds.
No, he was that was in the 30s.
30s.
Yeah.
Still, that was a. It
I was
looked,
a big girl.
That's nothing compared to the one I'm going to reel in.
Guys,
All right.
50 pounds. That's
I'm a
we
lander.
gotta get some bunker spoons. All right.
all right.
Okay.
Let's wrap it up.
See you, boys.
See us.
Ring a weedless.
It's Reality Outdoor Radio, connecting you with the people, skills, and products you can trust. Is that how you want to do it?
No.
That's exactly how we
Not
did
feeling it.
Somebody's gonna get the nickname Bunker here real soon.
I had it in
the
high
group.
school. Now I know why. It makes sense now. People used to pick on me, trip me going down the hallway. It was my 3 to 4 foot sweep in my
Nobody
hips when I walked. That's what it was.
Nobody wants to be a
I
bunker.
waddle 2 to 4 feet.
And it was only the big girls that ever talked to me. So it's all making sense.
That's great. I'm not originally a New Jersey guy, so it's a lot easier for me. I'm a Brooklyn guy. If you can't tell,
I wouldn't have noticed.
No way.
That would have been my second guess.
I thought you're from Louisiana.
Listen, if people don't like my bunker spoons, they sleep with the fish. So.